Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome to FireHouse Chefs Radio. This is FireHouse Chefs Radio for November 6, 2013. This is episode 21, so we're really happy. Thank you. Really happy to have you here with us in the FireHouse Chefs community.
You can officially drink today.
Yeah, exactly. I am your host, Eddie Sell, and tonight I'm joined by my co-hosts, Lewis Squared. And if you guys have watched FireHouse Chefs Radio in the past, you'll have seen these two gentlemen. So it's great to have these guys with us tonight, and I'll give them a quick little introduction. Remember, you can catch FireHouse Chefs Radio every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the rantradionetwork.com, rantradionetwork.com, and also look for archived episodes at rantradionetwork.com and just click on FHC Radio. And don't forget that there's a lot of other great shows that they do here as well. Real estate, sports, you name it. Arvin, if you want to even add some of the other ones. We're gonna. Arvin,
see, we got Brothers Bear.
Okay.
We got Real Estate Rant. We have Culinary Trends. Obviously, the three guys Rant.
Yep.
Sportscast, Firehouse Chefs, Tinseltown, Solutions for Life. Just to start off.
Cool. So
Nice.
All types of good stuff.
all types, and it's a great radio station that continues to gain a lot of traction. So it's cool what these guys have built here, and we're happy to be here. Again, I'm joined by my co-host Lewis Squared. And we have Luis Navarro, who is the chef and owner of Lola's Mexican Cuisine in Long Beach, California.
Yay.
Thank you for having me back, guys.
Of course. And we have Luis Hernandez, who is a firefighter paramedic here in LA County, California, and also the vice president of the Boys and Girls Club of East Los Angeles.
Yay.
So, yay. And Luis just had a big shindig this past weekend, so...
Yeah, a little fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I raised a few $1,000, for the Boys and Girls Club, and it was a Day of the Dead party, so it was pretty good. Had a nice little turnout.
And that just, nice.
Was that the one at the Quiet Canyon?
Yeah, Quiet Canyon, yeah.
Cool.
It's pretty good. You guys missed it, but whatever. It's all right.
Oh, I know.
I'll be at
Some
the
of
next
I
one.
remember, yeah, right. That's what you said the last one.
some of us had to work, but it was. We're glad that we were with you in spirit, and
Always.
hopefully everybody had a safe Halloween. And we actually in Long Beach, we had a thing called LBFD Kids, and it's something that the Long Beach Fire Department has done for over 15 years now, going to Miller Children's Hospital and basically taking the kids trick-or-treating within the confines of the hospital. So it was pretty cool to kind of witness that, and another way that we continue to give back. And obviously everybody sitting here, we all kind of give back to the community or different nonprofits in multiple ways. And I think later in the show, Luis Navarro is going to have somebody calling in that's going to be talking about an upcoming event as well. It's kind of near and dear to us in Long Beach, so we'll wait for that. That'll be good. Don't forget our phone number. It's 855-969-7268, 855-969-RANT, R-A-N-T. Give us a call. Anything in the fire service, culinary world, fitness, nutrition. We're going to actually have a couple of cool guests coming up in the next several weeks that are going to kind of go over some of those different topics, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And let's see. I'm going to turn this over to Lewis to tell us about tonight's topic because my voice is going out.
So tonight's topic is the upcoming holidays and what that means to our table.
A lot of food, that's what that means.
Cultural, food, meals, parties, special events.
All the above, everything. So it's quite, it's an important time of the year. And especially America is just so diverse these days, and not only in the fire service, but just everywhere, period. And so it's kind of interesting to hear what different people do in terms of their favorite dishes, where they like to shop, what kind of recipes they have, and what do they do to add to the basic, let's say the Thanksgiving table, which is the next major holiday coming up. So besides all the traditional the turkey and the stuffing and the cranberry stuff and sauce and all that. What else do people like to do?
And, on that, when you told us what the topic was going to be earlier in the week, immediately for me, I start thinking family, friends, people coming over, football.
Right. Yep.
Oh yeah, can't leave football out.
And with part of all the cooking, I think depending on where you're from and where your family is from, the first thing that comes to my mind is tamales. Like, the tamaliza is about to start, and you touch on it in Thanksgiving, but then you really, it really takes off in December around the, Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And I also wanted to really also thank last week's guest that we had in studio. Excuse me. We had from the LA Fire Department Captain Stacy Gerlich, and we also had Keith Scott, and Nathan Wolfstein was their civilian counterpart that runs an operation called Be More Prepared. So that was a great topic that we had here last week. It was all about disaster prep and the CERT team. So we really appreciate them for coming in, and I know they're going to be listening and coming on board shows in the upcoming future. So thanks again to that. And let's start. Let's also, if you don't mind, let's plug these guys coming up on future episodes, and then I'll kind of mention a little bit more, starting with Mr. Chuck Rudolph.
So coming up next Wednesday, we have Chuck Rudolph, who's going to be our special guest, and will he be co-hosting?
He's actually going to be. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about what Chuck is up to right now. And again, I apologize. I'm coming down with something, so. But here is, why don't you read Chuck's bio right there, the quick one.
So just in a nutshell, Chuck Rudolph, Master's Nutritional Biochemistry. So Chuck actually teaches insulin balance and is introducing a new product line called 247 Physique.
Yeah, he's very, very knowledgeable, and he's going to be a great addition to the show.
That sounds really interesting. Like, what does that all entail? I mean, does the insulin come into play with diabetes? And
it does, and a lot of there's in the bodybuilding world, a lot of people use insulin growth factor, human growth hormone, all that kind of stuff. So
HGH and all that.
So that's going to be interesting to see what he's up to. And I've known him personally for years now, and he's worked for some very, very reputable companies. MRM Nutrition rings a bell, and he's actually formulated antioxidant shots, meal replacement bars, so he's a talented guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's going to be a very, very good episode. And then,
so we have Chuck Rudolph next Wednesday, and on the following, on the 20th, we have Jess Hartnett from FH Boards.
Jess is super cool guy, and he happens to be a captain down in San Diego County, and he also owns a company called FireHouse Boards, and he makes custom cutting boards that are beautiful. So,
oh wow,
I've seen them.
Yeah,
and he had it with the cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna have to bring some so you can look at him out of the trunk.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's actually going to come into the studio and have boards with him here, so we'll get to and as chefs and people that use them.
Cook,
yeah, day in and day out, whether at the firehouse, at home, or in a restaurant. He's got a great product, and he can do a lot of custom boards and engraving and all that. So it's going to be pretty awesome to see his work.
I'm sure he'll elaborate a little bit more on that. But is his stuff available online?
It is. It is, and actually, if you go to firehousechefs.com and you click on the partners page, there's a link to his website as well.
Wow. Okay.
Good news, everyone.
It is good news. It is. And then and we just wanted to mention that too, because that's right around the corner.
Yep, and also to mention on our calendar is the Veterans Day, which is coming up. So we want to thank all the veterans out there for everything that they do for us, and they do for this country.
Yeah, amen to that. And I served in the Navy, and we, us as firefighters always tend to find people that we think are heroes, and I think the military definitely comes to mind. And when you think of those, what these people do for us day in and day out, with not a lot of thanks.
Oh yeah,
not a lot of thanks. And obviously, we have troops serving all over the world right now, and It's not in the news a whole lot.
No, the media doesn't pick it up.
Right.
There's no coverage, and it's almost, unless something tragic happens, then, that's when it gets picked up. But I have a lot of family that served. I have actually 2 cousins, one that served in the Air Force, and the other that was a Navy SEAL. He just retired. And I'll see them post stuff, and, obviously we're in contact. But you're right, and one thing is, first off is the veteran and the soldier, and then also, the other, I think, unsung hero, which I saw just a post the other day from my cousin, was, the families at home too.
Sure.
The family, the wife, so yeah, congratulations, but thank you. Thank you to all the veterans.
Thank you, and and we really, really appreciate your service, and it should be every day that you think about these folks, not just one day a year, but at least we do carve that one day. So
I agree.
Before this commercial break, why don't you guys start talking about, let's whet the appetite about what we're going to be talking about today. Come on.
Oh man, it's so much. Where do you start, dude?
Wherever.
Well, it's funny because when you talked about holidays and traditions, stuff like that, with being in the fire service, as you would know, come into the fire service, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago too. Every time we talk about food in the firehouse, it's pretty much it's a cornucopia of different seasonings, different flavors, different ways to cook the same thing. I mean, I've never seen grilled cheese cooked prepared so many different ways.
It's true.
Than at the firehouse, and it's because that's just people grew up with different tastes and they put different things. I mean, from a grilled cheese to Thanksgiving dinner. And my first Thanksgiving dinner at a fire station was the biggest eye opener ever. Some of the things I've never ever had before. I never would have thought to have, and it's amazing what these guys do, what these guys out there, and just that's what it's all about, bringing in everything that everyone knows. And you have 10 guys from 10 different backgrounds, 10 different areas, 10 different cultures, and sometimes you have such a vast difference. And when you come in together, and man, I've had some great meals. Some great meals. That's
a perfect place to stop, and we'll pick that up right after the commercial break. And Lewis, give him the phone number right before we leave.
All right, phone number, call in 855-969-7268.
Perfect. And how about this, Lewis? Give him the other way to do it.
855-969-RANT.
Awesome. All right.
You gotta be more specific.
Yeah, I know. It's Lewis Square tonight on Firehouse Chefs Radio, folks. And give us a call. Thank you very much. It's all about the holidays. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, 2 things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number 1 Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number 1. There's only number 1. There's only number 1.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio. This is FHC Radio for November 6, 2013. This is episode 21, the big 2-1.
Yay!
Like Lewis said, we've reached our drinking age.
Does that mean I could bring beers on the next one?
You know what?
Yeah.
No one said you could, and you said you didn't want it last time.
Maybe that'll help soothe my throat here. But I am kind of fighting a little cold right now. So Lewis Squared, they're going to be jumping in tonight if I start kind of losing it.
He's finally gonna let us talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can finally participate.
Yeah,
It took him basically. Yeah, it took me to get sick, and then I can give up some of my my airtime. So, but for these guys, I'll gladly do it. So it's nice to have Luis Navarro and Luis Hernandez in studio. And again, this is Firehouse Chefs Radio, and you can give us a call at, gentlemen, give them the number.
855-969-RANT.
You know what? Get a little closer to that mic, bro, so we can pick you up and your beautiful voice. And then give them the other way.
We got 855-969-7268.
Perfect. Give us a call. And again, our topic tonight is the holidays, and they are right around the corner, and we all see it because when was it? In August, we probably started seeing Christmas trees in Target already. It seems like they start earlier and earlier and earlier. So obviously, Thanksgiving is the one that's coming up. And what we were just talking about in the commercial break was, you think of the original Thanksgiving dinner when you think of the Pilgrims and Indians and you think of all that. And definitely America has evolved since those days. So, we're curious to find out what some of you folks out there have to say about that. We're obviously going to be talking about some of the things that we think are pretty cool. And that's kind of what we wanted to cover. And I think Luis Hernandez is going to have some just different facts that he'll be able to pull up and discuss tonight as well. So why don't we start with let's start throwing some of the stuff out that are the traditional staple items, if you will,
Well, yeah, I mean, something simple that you had on the agenda was the question of what are your favorite recipes?
Uh-huh.
What are those favorite recipes? And I think that's a pretty broad question, I guess, depending on the family. I immediately bring up the family. And when this time of the year starts, and we have a joke at the restaurant because we immediately start seeing people's attitudes changing. People are more on edge. There's road rage on the street.
Oh, it's family.
And really that's what it comes down to, but when you look at the big picture and when you kind of pull yourself out of that cloud, you start realizing, the reason why everybody's so stressed out, and it's because, everybody's so busy in their everyday life, we're in our careers, we're doing, everything. And during these 2 months of the year is kind of a time when we try to jam pack, reconnecting with our family, reconnecting with our loved ones. And, people tend to freak out a little bit about that. But it's all in good. It's all through the good. Everybody's trying to please, that loved one or please mom or dad. And that's when it comes down to what are your favorite recipes? What are you going to present, especially if you're hosting, especially as the food culture has kind of come and as it's really changed here in the States. And, I don't know if we're just fortunate enough to have that here in Southern California where, we're very affluent and that whole foodie explosion has gone on where everybody is a professional and, everybody's criticizing and they can taste this and taste that. And I think it's really almost raised the bar at home too.
Definitely.
When before you can get away with something simple, now all of a sudden people are like, hey, like, did this stuffing come out of a box, or is this thing homemade? Did you make those croutons yourself, or did you buy them at the store?
It goes back to the whole, if turkey's too dry, don't worry, just put gravy on it, you're good.
Right.
But now it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
it's different recipes and everything. It's just for the same thing, like we were talking about earlier.
And now you're having arguments, not in a bad way, but, there's a discussion going on whether you roast the turkey. Do you brine it? Do you fry it? Which is the way that which way is the right way? Who likes what?
Well, I think that's a good place to start. Let's start with the main thing. Usually,
turkey,
you think of holidays, Thanksgiving or dinner. It's going to be the bird. Mm-hmm. It's gonna, no matter even if you don't like turkey too much, you have to have a turkey for Thanksgiving. Unless you're one of those. I've been to some parties that they don't do the turkey, but if you're 99.9% of the rest of the country, we do turkey.
Right.
No matter what kind of cultural background you have, you're pretty much doing turkey. But so you made a good point. What is your way for the bird there?
Well, I've never fried a turkey personally.
Okay.
I've enjoyed a fried turkey, and I get the idea behind it. When I researched it, and I thought it was something, to go and buy the actual turkey fryer and to go through that whole process. But I understand the fact that when you got your oil going at a certain degree, you dip the bird in there and it immediately caramelizes the outside skin, and it starts cooking from the outside in pretty much because none of the juices can flow. Yeah. But me personally, I'm a guy that would brine. I would brine the turkey.
Long brine?
Yep. Yeah, long brine maybe for a couple,
overnight, 2 days, 1 or 2 days.
I would do 2 nights before and just have her soaking. But then again, I also have the luxury of having a walk-in refrigerator where most people, at home, they're going, where the heck am I going to put this thing and how am I going to dip this? But me personally, that's my personal preference.
Like the good old oven going.
Boom, stick her in the oven,
Well, we have a caller on line 1, so let's go ahead and see who we have.
All right.
Caller, you're on Firehouse Chefs Radio. Good evening.
Good evening. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good show tonight.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And do you mind giving us your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name's Dan, and I'm calling from San Mateo, California.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much from Northern California. Appreciate it. And tonight's topic is the holidays coming up. And do you have any special recipes, Dan, or some of your favorite meals that you like to do?
Yeah, my favorite meal is a prime rib roast.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Just taking it to the next level.
Oh, yeah. That's our next segment right there.
Scalloped potatoes, green bean casserole.
Nice.
Whatever else you like with it.
That's perfect. And do you mind? So another big thing that we're talking about tonight is just diversity as well. And do you like throwing a little bit of different dishes and or different spins on the traditional type dishes?
No, not really.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I pretty much just stick to the basics.
Hey, that's okay. The basics work. And what do you like to do with your prime rib recipe, if you don't mind us asking?
I cook it indirect on the charcoal Weber.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Do you sear it first, or what do you do?
No, I just throw it right on there and go indirect.
Okay, cool.
For a few hours until it comes to the whatever temperature you want. Medium rare to well or whatever.
All righty.
Well, Dan, is that something that I've done a couple of them before, and usually I'll cake on the some sea salt on the top, and it almost seems like it's too much, but once you're actually carving it and getting into that prime rib roast, it ends up just I don't know.
What I like to do with my prime rib, what I do is do you do with the bone in?
Yeah.
You like bone in? You like it cut? You like it sliced and tied? Like what's that called? See, chefs. When you separate the bone, and you tie it back on.
Oh yeah. There's really no not term for that.
Well, I like it like that.
Yeah.
But
I like that tip about the salt. I'm gonna try that.
Oh yeah, I do.
For Thanksgiving.
I season it all up, all around, and what I like to do. I learned this from a fellow fireman, and I just get a knife and get a couple cloves of garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stab it down. Go straight down, 90-degree angle, straight down, and just jam a couple cloves every now and then.
Yep.
Every little bit, space it apart, and then just put a lot of salt, pepper, different seasoning, and of course my favorite chipotle. I like to put a little bit of chipotle all around there, tie it back up, and then do the indirect method, and that comes out.
Yeah,
superb.
I mean, even when I first did the first one, I was like, gosh, it seems like I added too much of that, coarse sea salt, but it's not.
It's not. It's the crust, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. Another thing you can do too is you can remember that Dijon mustard goes really, really well as something
too.
to actually smear your prime rib with, and then any type of meats, especially the meats that are going to cook for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that a dry rub. So you just touched on it, Lewis, but a nice dry rub of whatever your favorite seasonings are. Pat your roast dry or any large type of meat, and then basically add your dry rub. Let that go for hours. Then you can try some of these other cooking methods, or add whether it's mustard or some, excuse me. And you never want to add any sort of sauce, like a barbecue sauce or anything like that, until the very end. A lot of people do that too soon.
Right.
And as you
then,
know,
I like to use garlic pepper a lot. In my
cool.
dry rub.
Yeah.
It'll be good on the prime rib.
Oh, absolutely.
Try that garlic trick. Get a knife, like a butter knife, or a little bit broader knife, and go down about an inch. And just jam some cloves in there. Man, that garlic flavor, fresh garlic. Put the big fresh garlic cloves. Just jam it in there, and then put your little dry rub on it. And man, I think that garlic just really permeates the meat. It's exquisite. It's really good.
Making my mouth water.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, if I had some.
How many cloves do you use?
You know what? I usually go, depending on the size. Like I said, when I've done it at the FireHouse. So we're doing a big old piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone up to maybe 1.5 cloves. 1.5 garlic. So I've been going through a lot, but it's up to you. It's personal preference. But I would go, for a good size one, I'd probably go about 3 or 4 bone. I'll probably go about 8 of them at least, and just get it really in there and
really infuse that.
Oh man, it just, if you like garlic, like I do, I'm a big garlic fan.
Yeah.
I love that garlic taste, and oh man, it really makes a difference.
No, it's great. And then just make a little bit of a horseradish crema on the side. Serve that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's
a
perfect.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotta have some spice.
Yeah,
definitely.
Dan, thank you so much. We're coming up on a commercial break, and we really, really appreciate you calling in from San Mateo, Northern California.
Dan, thank you for the call.
Yeah, that was a great call, and enjoy your holiday season, Dan.
You guys, thanks.
All right,
okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, caller on line 2, please hold on. We appreciate you holding, and we'll get to you as soon as we come back. You're listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio on the Rant Radio Network. This is episode 21, and it's the holiday season. Stay tuned for more, and callers, stay tuned.
Right now, you got that one?
Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
What's wrong?
I can't stop craving a cigarette. I just quit. Hey, what are you smoking on?
Oh, this? Best e-juice on the planet. Burst of flavor, of course.
What's that?
Only the best alternative to smoking with a great flavor. It has a burst of flavor in every puff.
Well, does it have nicotine?
It comes in different levels, including 0. They have 20 flavors and more coming. All the products are made in the U.S. Check them out at www.burstoflavor.com or call them at 855-WE-BURST.
Hey, let's burst together.
It's not just flavor, it's an experience. Cigarettes, you've met your match.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotechsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Welcome to Firehouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Yeah, and do we ever mean enjoy the ride? You never know what's going to...
Oh, yeah.
And we are back on Firehouse Chefs Radio for November 6, 2013. This is episode 21.
Yeah.
And I am joined by my co-hosts tonight, Luis Squared, Luis Hernandez and Luis Navarro. And we have a great topic tonight of the upcoming holidays. And we just had a great exchange with our caller, Dan, from Northern California, from San Mateo, talking about the old almighty roast. And that was a lot of great things were discussed, the rock salt, and then that's very, very popular actually, and a lot of people use that salt crust for fish. You can use it for beef, obviously, lots of different game and protein. So,
yeah, and it was something that I did a roast. I was mentioning about 5 years ago for Christmas. And, I'd long forgotten it until Dan called in. I was like, wait a second. Yeah. There is something else other than turkey and ham.
So, it was great.
That's at any big firehouse that I've been to, it's kind of got to have that turkey and got to have that roast.
Let's get to our caller and see what we have here. Caller, hi. You're on Firehouse Chefs Radio. Good evening.
Good evening. Am I on air?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for calling in, sir.
Wow, how you guys doing?
We're good. How are you? Where are you calling? Where are you calling from, sir? And do you mind giving us your name?
This is Billy from Texas.
Oh, nice.
All right, Billy. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, Billy.
Great to hear you.
So what's going on in Texas, Billy? Everything good over there?
Oh, everything good's going on in Texas.
So I think when you think about Texas, you definitely think about barbecue and some of that sort of stuff. So
That's right.
Right. Do you have any recipes that you really like to do for the holidays, or do you stick to the basics?
Oh, well, here in Texas, our number one thing is it's got to be, our number one thing is our oyster dressing. There's nothing like a good oyster dressing
Okay.
for the holidays. That's got to be our favorite.
Oyster dressing. And
oh, yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
What do you mean? What do you mean elaborate?
Tell us about it.
Oh, what's in it?
Yeah.
So you got your dressing part, and then you got your oyster, then you got your sage, you got your celery, you got your carrots, and there's nothing like a good sausage mixed in with that.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That sounds really interesting.
You guys call it stuffing.
Right.
We call it dressing.
Got it. Okay.
You see
Now
what
it makes
I'm
sense.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it is making sense.
Oh, yeah, dressing versus so it's a little bit of semantics and the and the wording of it.
Right,
and
right,
yeah,
right.
got it. Okay. Well, I actually like all those ingredients. That sounds really good.
Yeah, and Billy, what do you pair that with usually? I mean, you know, we're traditionally used to doing, your carved turkey, you got, your stuffing, and so with the oyster dressing, are you pairing that with turkey as well, or are you pairing it more with like a rib?
You could stuff. Yeah, you could stuff a turkey. You could stuff a possum. You could stuff a pig.
Okay.
We put it in all those.
Oh, wow.
And some of those animals that you brought up, I mean, are you obviously? I would imagine you guys are into some hunting over there.
Oh yeah, that's the way of life,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we use it for, and the deep fried turkey, obviously, that's one of our favorites.
Okay. Do you guys ever do anything seafood wise? Do you like to fish?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't do much, but the catfish, we fry the catfish, but not so much for the holidays.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into the oyster dressing.
It sounds really good, actually.
Yeah.
And I love sage. Sage is a great when you think of fall recipes and that type of herbal infusion that it adds to, especially like big cuts of meat and all that. That sounds great.
Yeah, and you add it with like I said, a good sausage, and you get all those spices together and those vegetables, with your dressing, and you have to try it. It's unbelievable.
Very good. Are you a sports fan? Do you like football? Or do you follow your Dallas Cowboys?
Big Cowboys fan.
Nice. Yeah, you guys are hanging in there, man, with Tony Romo.
Oh, that's right.
Well, Billy, I just want to thank you very much for calling in from Texas, and thank you so much for everything. And we really
for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. And I love the oyster dressing idea. I think that's something that we're all going to play with.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks again. Thank you so much for calling Firehouse Chefs Radio. All right, good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, cool. And you know what? And since we already covered on the bird, and obviously that you can roast it, fry it, so many different things that you can do to it. Stuffing. That's a perfect segue. I know when he mentioned when we figured out what he was talking about.
Oh, right. Well, I was like, oyster
yeah.
dressing.
I was
like cut of meat,
right.
Dressing poured over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it totally makes sense. So a lot of people do refer to stuffing as dressing. So, but I do something. I love doing like a chorizo apple stuffing.
And I've had it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
And so I love doing that. And again, right, it's taking that traditional dish of stuffing and then just putting those Latin spices or those different ethnic twists on it. So it's really, really cool. And I know a lot of people, and you don't always have to go and get the beef or the pork chorizo. Now there's soy rizo, and it's actually delicious, and it gives great flavor to a lot of different things. So, people should not be afraid to try some different ingredients. And who would kind of think that like you can take something like stuffing and recreate it, if you will, and you can do things like add apples to it, add chorizo to it, and then not only the typical carrot, celery, and that sort of thing, but you can really, really kick it up with peppers if you like spice, and you could really, really play with it.
Yeah, my mother, made one with apples and raisins and almonds.
I was gonna say I've had one with apples and raisins, and it was really good.
Yeah. That's exactly like I love using apples in it, and taking those sweet items and then kind of pairing them with stuff that's going to be a little harsher, obviously, or it's so good, and the way everything kind of like flows and comes together.
And there's one of those things that I constantly preach, and it's kind of the flavor profile that I live by, and you can catch those flavors at Lola's. It's and I talk about it all the time, and I go with the sweet, savory combination. When you get that sweet, but then you get a little bit of the salty, whether it's a pork or whether it's, whatever it may be that you're pairing that sweet with. But when you're able to really combine and execute the sweet with the little salty, you get this savory deliciousness that just, to me, it explodes in your mouth.
I totally agree. Yeah. And anytime that and that's why those of you listening out there to Firehouse Chefs Radio, you know, we can't tell you guys enough to just experiment, have fun in the kitchen, you know, have fun when you go shopping and you're looking around at, and don't get intimidated if you're at the farmer's market, and ask questions, you know, find out from your local purveyor or for, you know, your produce guy even at the store. Yeah. And you're going to get good, you know, great tips. And I think more and more you're finding that in stores.
And you go onto your phone. You go on your phone, your laptop, and pull up all these. You can pull up a zillion recipes on your phone, and don't be afraid to try one. Yep. And preferably, if you have a lot of family coming over, try it before.
Don't experiment on that at the time.
And I'll tell you what,
it's like the fire service.
And you know what? That's why I say it, because I did it myself. Yep. My first Thanksgiving was about 5 years ago, and my first Thanksgiving at the Firehouse, and I had to do feed 10 guys, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go and be that guy that has this big, you know, because at Thanksgiving, normally in holidays, we have our families come over. So you don't just have the 10 guys, but you usually have their family, their kids, immediate family. They all come over. Sometimes the chief comes over. So you're looking at sometimes up to 20 or more, depending on the Firehouse. Mm-hmm. And man, I'll tell you what, I was nervous my first one. I was like, because we kind of split up the duties, you know, and they said, hey, you know what you're gonna be doing. I did the ribeye. Okay. And, you know, so I was all nervous, and we ate good for a couple of days before my next shift, you know, for Thanksgiving. I went and I bought a ribeye, and I cooked it just the way, did the same thing. You know, I kind of got a recipe. I got it from another firefighter, and I said, hey, you know, what do you think? He goes, do this. Went home, did it. I said, yeah, you know, I could do a little bit better. I could use more garlic. And I went to the station, you know, the next shift, and did the same thing. Added more garlic, did more things, and knocked out of the park. It was great. So.
And I tell people too, you know, when I try to explain, and you know, if we're teaching a class or if someone's asking me a question, you know, I let them know, like, don't be afraid to experiment. You know, don't be afraid to try different ingredients. You know, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to the palate. You know, and even though you're looking at the ingredients, you're like, this isn't going to work. You don't know until you try it. You know, and why not just try? I mean, to me, that's where the fun lies. You know, the fun lies on that experimental, you know, whether it works, and to also not be afraid of it not working, because it's not always going to work.
That's very, very true. And, that's a great point. And what else, you know, when we think about these holiday meals, we obviously we don't only think about the savory things, but dessert, right? Dessert. So unfortunately, dessert. And I have
you can hit that before the main dish sometimes if you're good. You know, if you've been good, you know, all day and everything, you worked hard, you can get a little dessert before the main dish.
A little pecan pie.
Oh, I love pecan pie, and obviously pumpkin pie. Oh man, right. And I just saw something recently too that in the media where they were talking about, obviously right now with the holidays, there's all this pumpkin spice everything, right?
Oh yeah.
And they were actually saying how, like, take for example the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks, which is very, very popular, has zero actual like pumpkin in it. You know, it's just obviously all artificial.
Just artificial. Yeah.
So get your real pumpkin stuff, you know, and
organic.
Yep. or don't be afraid to try some of the other squash. I mean, squash, just, you know, roasted in the oven with butter, and oh man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a meal in itself.
It really, really is.
I mean, that's like my go-to, honestly. Anytime that I'm always getting squash, you know, whether it's Italian squash, yellow squash.
I agree.
The Mexican calabaza, which is the lighter green with the little zebra stripes.
And you know, and since we're talking about that too, it is a very, very inexpensive ingredient, and you can add it to anything. I mean, I love adding squash to say stir-fry dishes, also to fajitas, and it's just
barbecue. You can grill everything. That's so great pairing.
All right, folks, one more segment left of Firehouse Chefs Radio, episode 21. This is FHC Radio on the RantRadioNetwork.com. Stay tuned for more. It's the holidays. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Add some crazy flavor to your vape pen. You're looking for something new and exciting in liquid vapor? Go to Crazy Cloud's e-Juice. Find them at burstoflavor.com and try any of the new 12 flavors they have available. Blueberry, mint, raspberry, chocolate, gummy bear, hemp, watermelon, cola, orange, pina colada, coconut, or Red Bully. Call us today at 855-WE-BURST or visit us at burstoflavor.com and order yours today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute. a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one tequila.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
the
on.
old-fashioned way. Never mass-produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one, tequila.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio. This is FHC Radio, where you can catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the rantradionetwork.com. You can also find our archived episodes at rantradionetwork.com. Click on FireHouse Chefs. And remember, you can always follow FireHouse Chefs on all of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Lola's as well. Do you guys have social media, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we have social media. We have our Facebook page, which I think is Lola's Long Beach. And then Twitter is at I Love Lola's, and so is Instagram.
Okay, perfect. And then Luis Hernandez, anything for the Boys and Girls Club? Any shout out or information?
We're just getting ready. We're still just trying to get sponsors for our 11th annual Thanksgiving dinner. Talking about holidays.
Okay.
We have our 11th annual Thanksgiving dinner where we feed over 1,200 residents of East LA, Commerce, Montebello every year, and we're getting ready every Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We go ahead and set up this big Thanksgiving dinner outside our Boys and Girls Club, and it's been going 10 years strong, and we're just trying to keep it going, and everyone looks forward to it. So if you got any sponsorship leads or anybody wants to help out, just come on down. You can get us on Facebook, East LA Boys and Girls Club, and you can also just Google and give me a call here at the show.
Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually. I'm going to check my calendar, too, and if Firehouse Chefs is able to make it out there, that sounds like a great cause.
Yeah,
so
perfect. Like
yeah,
awesome
it
cause.
really does. And I know, in the local fire departments right now are starting to do a can drive as well and accept canned goods and other items and all that for the holiday meals. Also, Spark of Love Toy Drive is going to be right around the corner, so we'll start talking about that with Mr. Jack Ochoa, who's been on the show before. So it'll be great. It's a great time of the year. Let's go ahead and get to our caller that we have on line 1, Lewis, if you want to go ahead and pick up the phone. Hi there. You're on Firehouse Chefs Radio. Are you there?
I'm here.
All righty, sir. Do you mind giving us your name and where you're calling from?
Sure. My name is Scott Pickard. I'm calling from Long Beach.
Oh, great.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Louis.
Thank you very much for calling in tonight, Scott. And the topic tonight was, all about the upcoming holidays. And obviously, specifically, we were talking about some of the meals and favorite recipes and all that good stuff. But a lot of the holidays, it's about giving back. We do a ton of things for different nonprofits that we love and support. And so I'll let Louis kind of take over from here as to, the topic of your call.
Sure.
Yep. I discussed this before we kicked the show off, and I let them know that one of our great friends, he's in our community, and he's on the board for the Long Beach AIDS Foundation. So I wanted him to call in, elaborate a little bit on the organization, and some of their upcoming events and needs as well.
Great. Well, first of all, I've really enjoyed the show. I want to say that on the outset. I'm a first-time listener tonight, and this has been a lot of fun.
Welcome. Thank you.
Not only is this an opportunity for me to talk about what we're doing, but you guys, I think, just got another listener.
Cool.
Yeah, the Long Beach AIDS Foundation has been around for about 25 years in different iterations, but we've been really pleased to be giving back to the community. We've served thousands over those 25 years, people who generally don't end up qualifying for other programs or are otherwise not served by other organizations out there. And we've been struggling because of the bad economy over the last several years, as have all of the nonprofits, especially those that try to serve the HIV/AIDS community. It's a topic that sort of has lost its popularity, if you will. It's something that's not. It's not the death sentence it used to be. So people, in fact, some people think it's been cured, which of course it hasn't. But we're struggling right now to stay alive. We've got several events coming up right now, starting with one of our projects is Project Red Paint, where we work with local youth artists, both in high school and college age. It's a competition, and it culminates on World AIDS Day, which is December 1st. We'll be doing our event at the Cultural Alliance Long Beach here in Long Beach, California, and that's where the community comes in and actually chooses the winner, if you will, who the piece of art that wins the award for the year. We also have our first annual holiday Ungala, which is happening on December 14th, which is, of course, one of the reasons why Lewis and I have been talking about it so completely. Lolis is going to be helping us out with the food on that.
Oh, good. Okay.
And yeah, we're delighted to be working with you guys. I've been a customer of Lola's now for several years, and these guys are like family to me. And so the support has become personal. And so right now, what we're looking for is donations. You can find us at lbaidsfoundation.org, and in the upper left corner of the screen is the Donate Now button. So click on that. We are, we're trying to keep the doors open here. The Ungala is going to be an ugly Christmas sweater party. So we're going to have some fun.
Nice.
We're going to have some good food, and we need to drive this the message home that there are still so many parts of our community that are not being served. We serve the homeless population because that happens to be totally unrepresented when it comes to health care. We deal a lot with the youth community. In fact, we're starting a new program targeting young African American men, and where we are reaching out to barbershops because that is one of the areas that they congregate and they talk, and it's actually being produced and run by African Americans that live in the community because those of us who are not part of that community can't possibly talk to them in ways that are going to resonate. We have a number of other programs, the AIDS Emergency Life Fund, where we help people who are in financial need to pay a bill when it comes down to whether or not they pay their rent or pay for food. These are all things that the other organizations out there don't serve. So right now we're looking for people that can help us, both in terms of sponsorships, recurring donations, $10 a month. You can do that right there on our website.
Yeah, and when Scott reached out to us, it's one of those interesting things, and it's one of the reasons why I figured, hey, even though we were, our topic was the holidays, but I thought that it would be something. When we were approached, it's something that you don't realize, sometimes the dire needs, and sometimes things get put on the back burner, or as we mentioned earlier, if the media is not covering it, it's not in front of our face. And we were a little alarmed when we found out that this organization might not be around, and they might not be able to provide those services in the future. And we kind of wanted to rally behind them and hope see if we could somehow get our rally our troops at Lola's and see if we could at least help them in the phase of trying to keep their doors open.
And Scott, just speaking from the nonprofit world myself, being with the Boys and Girls Club, I know how the economy has hurt our nonprofit and the nonprofits that we work. We've been accustomed to working with over the years, and we've seen a lot of hard time. So I definitely feel for you. My heart goes out to all these nonprofits that that we work with, and along with ourselves. It's just the economy's been really bad, and so I totally encourage everybody who's listening and everybody who knows anybody, go ahead and kind of find a cause, find a nonprofit that touches you, that that appeals to you, that's something that's kind of that goes with what you're with what your aspect, what's something that goes more for you, that you can actually give with your heart and help these nonprofits that are out there that are hurting and they're needing money. So
it's a great, and Scott, we are coming on to the end of the show, so we actually need to have you in studio, and I think we can dedicate a lot more time in talking about your great nonprofit and what you specifically do. So that's the invite, and we'll make it happen with Lewis.
Sounds great.
We really appreciate you calling, and thanks. We appreciate having another listener.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, this has been fun. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you for the call, Scott.
Thank you so much. Thanks for calling Firehouse Chefs Radio.
Bye.
So as we kind of wrap up a show, which, and by the way, this is obviously going to be part one of the holiday show because there's just too much to talk about. We just kind of skimmed the surface. So I kind of pulled this up, with random holiday facts. Most people think that they gain 5 pounds during the holidays, and in a study, it's actually the average person gained less than 1 pound during this time. So don't feel that bad. Yeah.
Hey, we got to blame it on something.
Right? I know. I think that's, I think that's exactly what it is. This is the most hated Christmas songs, but that's kind of a little off the topic.
Kind of just one thing is we lost LA County Fire Department. We lost a firefighter last Saturday, a great guy, a great member of our department. He's an engineer, Sean Bear. He passed away on November 2nd. So I just want to give a shout out to him. He was a great person for those that knew him. So,
fortunately. And along those lines as well, there was another line of duty death, cancer related, a captain up in Northern California as well, Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department. I don't have his name right in front of me at the moment, but unfortunately, cancer is alive and well out there, and it affects all of us, all walks of life. And again, that kind of goes back to Scott calling in, all the nonprofits that are out there. You truly never know what you're going to get afflicted with. So it's important to just obviously enjoy your loved ones, enjoy food, enjoy some of those things in life.
And enjoy your time.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know. So with that, again, this is going to be just part one because there's so much more that we're going to be talking about. And remember some of those great guests that are coming up on the upcoming episodes of Firehouse Chefs Radio. And remember to catch us archive shows at rantradionetwork.com. Click on Firehouse Chefs. This was episode 21 with Eddie Sell and Lewis Squared. And they will be back. And again, we've got great stuff coming up. We've got Venom Vodka coming up. We've got tequila coming up. We've got Firehouse Boards coming. It's going to be great. So thank you again for tuning into Firehouse Chefs Radio. Everybody be safe. Have a good night.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to FHC Radio. Catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time by visiting firehousechefs.com and rantradionetwork.com.